Hey there, and welcome to the absolute best auto webinar SaaS platform as well as funnel builder on the web. Welcome to WebinarKit. Let's go ahead and log into our WebinarKit demo account to see just how easy it is for WebinarKit to help all types of businesses. So immediately when you log in, you'll be taken to the main dashboard. As you can see, we have a couple of demo webinars already. On each one, you'll see an arrow. If you click the arrow, you'll see a few simple options. The second option here, Get Links, will immediately give you your links, and you can see how easy this is. All the relevant links that you'll need for your webinar are conveniently listed for you right here. If we go out of this and go back to the arrow, you'll see that the third link here will pop up your analytics. This will give you easy to use and understand analytics for all of your webinars, and it's all consolidated onto one page. It doesn't get any easier than this. Every single metric that you will need is all consolidated onto that page. Now, if I go back to the main dashboard, from this page, I can go back to the arrow and you'll see an Edit Webinar button. From here, you'll be able to easily edit this webinar. And you'll see that we've broken the process down of editing and creating a webinar into a few simple steps. Other auto webinar software are often clunky and hard to use, and that's why with WebinarKit we built it from the ground up to be super smooth and easy to use, so you can build an auto webinar funnel in minutes regardless of experience level. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you the links of what a final WebinarKit auto webinar funnel looks like, and from there we're going to come back into this section and I'll show you how to build it in just minutes. Sound good? Alright, let's go ahead and head back to the main area. So here, back at the main page, I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these webinars and go back to Get Links. From here, these are those links that I showed you before. So the first page of your funnel is going to be a high converting registration page that you'll be able to build very quickly using WebinarKit, and I'll show you that in just a minute. We also have another template. So back at the main list of links here, you'll also see a watch room link. This is the main WebinarKit room, and this is what the webinar room looks like. You'll be able to see your total attendees up top, but don't worry, your registrants won't be able to see that. You'll also see that there is an option here for your registrants to ask a question. We have this option as well as a live chat option that you'll see inside of the settings in just a minute. So you'll be able to choose if you want a live chat going for example, a like live webinar that's at a specific time where you're still answering questions in real time, or a totally automated webinar setup where you'll be able to have your registrants ask questions and you can answer them by email. So this is what the watch room looks like. The last link here is the control room, where you'll be able to have you or whoever is using your tool answer questions and moderate questions from the chat. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in and start creating our auto webinar funnel. So I'm going to go ahead and click New Webinar. From here, you're going to see that we're automatically on the first step here, which is the webinar video. Right here, you'll be able to add a link to a webinar presentation that you've pre-recorded, posted on somewhere like Vimeo or S3 or elsewhere. This is going to be the source of the presentation that we play. So the next step is we're going to go ahead and go to Next. And from here, you'll be able to add in the information of your webinar. You can switch it to active or keep it inactive. And as you can see, we've got tooltips here in case you get confused of what each thing does. So you've got your name, your title, your webinar duration. This is the custom branding that you're going to be able to add to your watch room, which is really, really cool. From here, you'll be able to select your presenter. You can add a presenter or remove a presenter, and this will be the list that is shown on the landing page. From here, when it comes to webinar scheduling, we've got a few really powerful options. The first option is an instant watch, and as it says right here on the tooltip, enable or disable instant watch. With instant watch enabled, the dates for your webinar will be hidden, allowing visitors to basically go to the webinar session immediately. This is great if you want people to just skip over a pre-selected time and go directly into the watch room. We also have just-in-time scheduling, which means that it will pop up a slot within a 15-minute period that the registrant will be able to go in and view the webinar. There will be a countdown timer that basically counts down to the end of the 15 minutes, and then the viewer can go in and watch the recording. We've also got different date formats here depending on what country you're in for some of our most popular users' countries. Down here, you'll be able to add your webinar dates. So if you want to have a webinar going every week, for example, every Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m., you can go ahead and set this. Go ahead and select your time zone. I'm personally in New York, so I'm going to go ahead and find that. So now I've got scheduled webinar dates here every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. I can also remove this, and if I would like to do a single live webinar, for example, I want to have it at 9 o'clock p.m. on next Wednesday, I can go ahead and select that, and now that is scheduled. And you could select multiple ones, so maybe I want to do another one at 11 o'clock. I can add that in as well. And these will all be shown on your landing page as available webinar times for your registrants. Let's go ahead and save that. So from there, let's go ahead and go to the next section. This is where you'll be able to build your funnel. So you'll see two options here. The first option being the registration page editor, and the second page being the thank you page editor. So the registration page editor, from here, you're going to be able to create high converting webinar registration pages. This is just one of our templates, and then we've got another one called Simple. You've got full customization ability here on the left. All you have to do is go step by step. You can change colors. For example, if I change this to blue, it should change the entire page to blue, and this is a simple, effective registration page. And I can go back to the modern light, and you can see that it applied for that as well. Everything is customizable, including the upper area, the lower area, and even the information that you collect from your leads. So you can see that's all down here. You could choose to show a video, you can choose your brand logo, you can edit this image here to be there or remove or replace it with your own image. You've got all sorts of flexibility. So that's the webinar registration page. You can see that you could set that up very, very quickly. We also have the ability for you to customize your thank you page. And what's really cool about our thank you page is you can see here that when people go to the thank you page, which is also fully customizable, and just like the registration page, we've got a modern and a simple layout. It includes the webinar session link so that they can easily get this link and show up at the right time for their webinar and make sure that you get maximum show up rates. We've also added in the ability for them to add these events to their Google Calendar or Outlook calendar, and that is very powerful for reminding your attendees to show up at the right time. And as you can see, there are countdown timers that you can enable or disable on all of the templates. So let's go ahead and exit the thank you page editor. From here, I'm going to go to the next, and you can see we are zooming through setting up this funnel. It's so quick and so easy. From here, we're going to be editing what goes on the live room. So you can see that you can enable or disable the email questions box. If you're setting up a live webinar, you might choose to have the webinar live chat. You can also choose if the webinar live chat will be public or private, meaning that everyone could see everyone else's comments, or you just have it shut off where only you could see what people post. You also have the option to redirect attendees after the webinar is enabled or disabled. From here, this is where you're going to be able to display webinar offers. This is going to be an offer that pops up with a buy button and even a countdown timer if that's what you would like. You can leave that on or off. That will basically show people an offer with a button that they can click if they want to get an offer within a certain amount of time, or you want to display it at a certain time in the webinar. It'll pop up right on the screen in real time for the time that you select. And you can see that you could display here when you want the offer to start in minutes and when you want the offer to end in minutes. Down here, you'll see webinar label customization. This is part of our amazing feature that will let you customize your WebinarKit funnel to any language. So you can literally take all of your webinar funnel pages and turn them into any language. And I'll show you an example of that in just a minute. So from here, you can literally swap out ask a question with the wording from a different language. Let me go ahead and show you an example. So as you can see here, I've used Google Translate to translate ask a question into Spanish. I've copied the translation, and now I'm going to go back over to my main webinar and I'm going to paste it in. And you could see just like that, everywhere that an ask a question label will appear, it'll now appear in Spanish. So you can customize all of these pieces of the webinar funnel. So from there, we're going to go ahead and save it, and then you're going to click next. From there, we're on the last part of setting up this funnel. This is where you're going to be setting up your remarketing. So from here, you're going to see that you can edit your webinar notifications. And from here, you'll be able to see that you can have automatic confirmations enabled or disabled. You can edit the times at which you want to send the reminder. So you've got the 1-day reminder and 30-minute reminder as well. So that they'll basically be able to get a reminder right when they sign up for the webinar, 1 day before the webinar, and 30 minutes before the webinar. Additionally, we've got advanced segmentation here where you can actually remarket to people here with automatic attended webinar email. So if they attended the webinar, you can send send them a custom message. If they did not attend the webinar, you could send them a custom message. Then, depending on how much of the webinar they have watched, you can send different custom messages. Additionally, whether they clicked your webinar offer or not, you can also send them a message depending on that outcome. If you'd like to do your remarketing via your own CRM, we also have a ton of powerful integrations with some of the largest CRMs in the marketing space. If you don't see your CRM here, not to worry, we've also got Zapier integrations, which means that you can basically connect with just about any app out there. If you've got tracking scripts that you would like to add to your funnel, no problem. You can add tracking scripts to every single funnel page inside of WebinarKit from this section right here. After this, I'm going to go ahead and click complete, and just like that, we've created our first WebinarKit funnel. How easy was that? You really don't need a ton of experience to make this work. Additionally, let me go ahead and show you an example of a page that was set up entirely in Spanish. So on this page, you'll be able to see that we actually went ahead and created an entire landing page in Spanish to show you how easy it is to set this up as well. So there you have it. That's how easy it is to set up your Like Live webinar, auto webinar, just-in-time webinar, or instant watch webinar right in WebinarKit, regardless of experience level. We hope you've enjoyed this demo and that you see the immense value inside of WebinarKit. We do have it on a special founders one-time pricing for a limited time. We do recommend that you grab it before the prices go up so that you could start creating easy webinar funnels just like this. All right, take care.